Wednesday, how are you? Coming to you live from my home. So excited to see you all tonight. Another episode of Confessions of a Conveyancer. And tonight is about making sure you win. Are you selling your house? I really want you to get the best result possible. Yes, you have your home, your house, it means something to you. You work damn hard to pay that mortgage. It's time to sell it and move on. So I'm going to give you the biggest mistakes that people make when they're selling their home so that you can avoid them, so that you can win, so that you can get the best value for your money, get the biggest sale, get the biggest reward, and keep on your property journey. So if you're going to be following along tonight live or in replay, drop an emoji. I want to say g'day and see who is following along. So let's just dive right into it, okay? The biggest house selling mistakes to avoid. So these are the things you don't want to do if you want to maximize how much your house sells for. Number one, underestimating the power of staging. So staging is either where you pay a company to come in and they will set up a few bedrooms for you, put in some furniture, put in a little bit of decorations. We've got some very good friends at the Inspired Space in Albury, hi Hayley, that do an amazing job. Or you can even, if you can't afford that, jump on Pinterest. Google around, have a look at some really great modern looks or looks that suit your house that you're selling. So why do people underestimate the power of selling? The power of staging. The power of staging is all about that personal feel. It's about creating the lifestyle when people walk into the room that they want to buy. So you're creating that they can see themselves there, that they can see the memories, that they have visions. So if they walk into a blank room, not many people have enough creativity to really understand what they could do with that property. But if you create it with the right type of decor and feel, and you create this beautiful flow through the house from each room with your staging, you're inviting people to feel like what it would feel like if they lived there. You want them to fall in love with the place. So staging is well worth it. And there's ways, if you're really struggling financially, that you can do it a bit cheaper. Have just a couple of rooms staged. As I said, jump on Pinterest, see what you can do. But staging has shown in all results that people that stage their homes properly get a quicker turnaround in the sale because they're forming that real connection for purchasers. So staging, don't underestimate it. That is number one mistake to avoid so that you can capitalize on your sale. Number two, ignoring repairs. You know that gut instinct that you get, that first impression? People have that with houses. So if a purchaser walks into your house and they might see just a couple of tiny little repairs that are obvious that need to be done, their gut instinct also straight away goes to, well, if they haven't done those tiny repairs, what else hasn't been done? They don't get that impression that the house is solid and well looked after, and that obviously gives them that scared off feeling. So don't ignore any tiny repairs, even if it's a little bit of lick of paint here, fixing a little leak, closing a gap, something like that. It's so important because it comes down to that gut instinct. People want to know that it's a solid home, that it's been looked after. So that's number two, super important. Don't ignore any repairs. Number three, don't get too personal. What does that mean? Don't get too personal. It means you might have really lavish, amazing taste in things. You might have a bedroom that is made out of spare car parts. You might have Marilyn Monroe painted all over the walls, and that may be fantastic for you. But if you make a house too personal, it's not sellable, yeah? So have a little think about that. There may be some little things that you want to tweak if you have that flair, and you might want to just tone it down a little bit before you put it on the market. But if you make something way too personal for your taste, it doesn't appeal to the greater market. You want to make it super sellable, so that a lot of people can really connect and see what it's like, okay? So number 3 is don't make it too personal. Next one, well, I've talked about this before. This is really important. Do not price the property too high. Sometimes people think that by putting a really high price on the property, that gives them more room to play down with negotiations. No, if you want to put your property on the market for higher than what your real estate agent says, you're doing the wrong thing. You need to trust their advice. That's why you've brought them on. And by putting a price on that is too high, you are really going to damage your chances of success of maximizing the sale price. Why? Because often it will sit on the market for a lot longer than it should. So that's really something to be careful of, okay? Don't overprice your property at all. And if it sits on the market for a long time, what you find also is that people know that. In 6 months, they'll start throwing around lowball offers because they might think that you're getting desperate because you haven't had a chance yet to really move it and sell it because you've got it priced too high. People also, when they see properties on a market for too long, they often think, why? What's wrong with it? Why has no one else picked it up? So you really want to make sure that you're not doing that and putting that really high price on it, and listen to your agent. All right. And the last one when it comes to that, which is that segue that I just came from on, is hiring the right agent. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is hiring the wrong agent. I've spoken a lot about this previously, about how to choose a real estate agent. Let me know, I can re-forward those videos to you. I've written blogs on it, but hiring the correct agent is one of the most important parts of making sure that you get the best price for your sale, okay? Super important, huge. I wanna see you win. I wanna see you really get all your hard work that you've paid for putting into that mortgage to get the best results. So I'm just going to cover those again. The mistakes to avoid when you are selling your home. So these are things that you want to avoid to make sure you're maximizing that sale price. 1, do not underestimate the power of staging your home. Super important. People want to feel connected. They want to be able to realize their dreams. You want them to be able to walk in and visualize themselves there and get a feel for the house place. I had Haley from the Inspired Space on one of my lives, and she said, even by smells, have a candle going. Something like that really creates that sense of smell and feel and flow through the home that makes people really want to fall in love with it. So if you can't afford to have it professionally staged, get on YouTube, see what you can do, or even have just a few rooms professionally staged. Makes a huge difference for you. 2, do not ignore any small repairs. People can see them. They will question why you wouldn't do that. They'll also start to question and get that gut feeling, why on earth would you not do them? Is there other things that you're covering up? So that's really important. Don't get too personal. That's number 3. Don't get too personal with your flair. If you want to do something really crazy, lavish, arty out there with your property, just make sure it's still going to be sellable. Don't have Betty Boop all over the ceiling and then wonder why nobody wants to buy it, okay? So it needs to be able to appeal to people. Now, last of all, make sure you do not price it too high, as that will really hurt your chances. And you need to make sure that you have the right agent on board. That's it, guys. These are really important things, but people forget them. Sometimes we forget that people don't know what they don't know. So have a little think about it. There's so much information out there. These are some things that you can take, that you can really capitalize to make sure that you are winning big in the property market. That is me for another week. Of course, I always finish off with a confession. This week's confession of a conveyancer is, I had to have a cheeky little beer tonight at work. About 6 o'clock, I had finished with my last client, and it was quite a challenging matter we were working on together, and I had about another hour's worth of work before I could come home, and I just felt like unwinding why I did those emails. So I had a beer in the office. That, I'm not sure if it's allowed. It's my office. It was after 5. Why not? Anyway, Wednesday, you're done. Amazing to see you. I'll be back here next week.